Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Daniel James, and as always, if you're new here, welcome. Today, I want to share with you the things that I learnt when I hit rock bottom. And this comes off the back of a school visit I did this morning at a PRU school. And for those of you that are outside of the UK and aren't familiar with what a PRU school is, a PRU school is a pupil referral unit, and it's for students that have been kicked out of mainstream education due to behavioural issues. So I went in today to deliver the first of a 5-week series going into the things that I wish I'd known sooner. And the first one was more of an introduction about myself and mindset. And some of the questions that I got asked from these students were absolutely fantastic, which then prompted me to share this with you because they're asking me some of the things that I actually learned from hitting my bottom. And I thought, do you know what? No one's ever asked me that. So let's do a whole podcast episode on it. So the 3 things that I learned from hitting my bottom are, number 1, no one is coming to save you. Like, no one was coming to save me. That was one of the biggest realizations for me hitting my bottom, and it's one of the things that sparked my my desire to actually get out of the hole I put myself in. I did a whole episode on this. I'm going to link it down in the description so you can check it out. A whole thing about how no one's coming to save you. But that was such a key realization for me because no one knew that I was struggling. So whatever it is that you're going through right now, does anyone know that you're struggling? Because oftentimes, not all the time, massive stereotype here, but a lot of the times, the people that are shouting the loudest that they're struggling aren't actually the ones that are struggling. It's the ones that aren't talking. They are the ones that are struggling the most. And I was one of those people. I was what you call a functioning depressant. I mean, I'd get up every single day, I'd go to work, I'd see my clients, I'd do what I needed to do, but actually behind closed doors, completely isolated myself. And one of the students, they said to me, said, well, how can you tell if you're struggling with your mental health? And I said, well, again, you will know the changes within yourself because no one knows you better than you know yourself. So if you're kind of going to these events or these things and you're just not laughing and you're just kind of feeling a bit numb, that's maybe a bit of a sign, a warning sign that things aren't quite right. But I said, to spot it with other people, and here's the key thing, it's the people that are normally really sociable, and social, the ones that always takes you back, that you have great conversation with, when they start to go quiet, they are cancelling going to events. They're cancelling seeing you. They're not even trying to arrange seeing you. They're not messaging you back at all. They're not even reaching out to see how you're doing. They are the signs that person may be struggling. Now, obviously, if that person's got a new partner, that could also have something to do with it because we've all got friends that get a partner and then they ghost you. But if they haven't got a new partner, that's a sign that that person may be struggling and actually withdrawing from whatever it is that they seem to be struggling with. Because I withdrew from all my friends, my family, everything. Didn't go to family events, didn't see any friends. I literally just went to work, trained at the gym, and then came back. That was it. And I became very, very isolated. And the key thing with this, realizing no one's come to save me, is also the fact no one could save me because I'd done this to myself. I'd done this to myself, and then this leads me on to the second thing that I learned from hitting rock bottom. And that second thing was that I was a prisoner inside my own mind. Now, what do I mean by that? My thoughts were going unchecked. I was having these negative thoughts. And again, upon reflection, I've been having these thoughts for a number of years. And it's that thing of a death by 1,000 paper cuts. That one negative thought that I kept thinking about over and over and over and over again. That thing that someone said to me maybe once, I'd ruminate on it and keep thinking about it. I was doing it to myself. I had caused the issues, which is why no one could come and save me because I was doing it to myself. And by doing it to myself, I'd basically put myself in this prison. And for anyone that's listening and knows what I mean when I say they're stuck inside their own head and it becomes like a prison, it becomes very hard to realize what is reality versus what is the stories and the BS that you're telling yourself. What is reality versus what is the stories that you're telling yourself? Because when we're in this negative spiral, when we're in this negative headspace, it's very, very easy to distort reality, to bend the truth, to rephrase how things actually happened and what we say to fit the narrative of us struggling and not being okay. Someone says something, we make it mean something that there's no facts to back it up. Oh, they said this and it means that. Says who? Says the voice inside your head. But you are not the voice inside your head. You are the listener. You are the listener. That thing that you keep replaying, who is it that said that to you? Who is it you're having a conversation with? Is it an ex-partner? Is it an ex-friend? Is it a parent? Who is that person that's taken up all this mental real estate? Because ultimately it's you that's replaying it. You are the one that's trapping yourself and you don't even realize that you're doing it. One of the main things I talk about and teach when I go into organizations, when I take people through the Ascend coaching program, is the fact that you have the ability to control your thoughts. You can't control what pops up, but you have the ability to decide to focus on this or focus on something else. You have the ability to create new thoughts. You have the ability to direct your focus and your attention and generate new thoughts. And the third and final thing that I learned from hitting rock bottom was having the right person to talk to, because that essentially changed my life. Now, if you looked at my social media, if you looked at my phone and saw the people I was interacting with, it looked like I had a lot of friends. I didn't. I had a lot of acquaintances, all surface level stuff. No one knew what was going on at all. I bottled it up and I'd isolated myself, just drip feeding a few things out to a few certain amount of people. But if you saw my socials, you'd say, oh, Dan's doing fine. He's got these people, he's got these followers. But that wasn't the case. And I needed to talk to somebody that got it. And it's only through chance that I took my ego down and went to go and work at a pub I'd worked at when I was 18 years old. And bear in mind now, I was 28. I went back to this pub. Straight away, this lady had never met before. She was in her 40s. She said to me, you're struggling. I can see straight through the mask you're putting on. She says, I don't have left home tonight. You're going to take me home and tell me all about it. And I had no idea really what she's on about because I was still in a bit of denial at this stage. And on the drive home, I just told her everything, literally like just verbal diarrhea. And because she'd gone through losing her husband, because she'd gone through a lot in her life and had to overcome it, she just listened. And just the very act of me talking and sharing that changed the course of my life. Because when I realized and sort of verbalized it, it made me realize how much I was struggling. And then she didn't judge me, which again, I was petrified of as a male, being this vulnerable and open with someone I didn't know. But that was the thing that allowed it to work. Because she was the right person, it allowed it to work. Had I opened up with some people in my life, it wouldn't have gone down the same. I may have felt judged. I may have felt ashamed, embarrassed. And they also wouldn't have known how to hold that space for me or what to say, which then may have forced me to recluse again. So make sure, if you are struggling, that you speak to the right person. It could be a stranger. There's lots of helplines that is what they're there for. Or it may be that one friend that you don't speak to as often. You wouldn't necessarily class them as anything close, but you know full well that they have gone through some stuff, they've come out the other side, and you trust them. Keyword, trust. You have to share with someone that you trust. So to recap, the three things that I learned from hitting rock bottom: no one's coming to save you. You have to save yourself. You have to put yourself out there and put yourself into positions where you can actually start talking about it. Number two, you're a prisoner inside your own mind, whether that's through anxious thoughts or depressive thoughts, whatever it is. For me is depression. I was a prisoner of my own mind. And number three, having the right person to actually talk to for the first time was a thing that changed my life trajectory. If this is something that you're struggling with, please feel free to reach out in the comments below, or find me on social media on Instagram. Again, links down the bottom here at the Prime Life Project. I'll be more than happy to be that safe person for you as a sounding board. If you take any value from today's episode, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're listening to this on audio on Spotify or Apple Podcast, hit the like button and or rating, I think it is, hit the star rating, whatever it is, give us a rating, really much appreciated. And if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up and also think about subscribing. Until next time, take it easy.